Architetto, che tema propone per la prossima Biennale?
I've decided I will not be the next director of the Biennale, and because David has chosen the perfect theme, and I can see that it must be way too much work.
わかりませんが、ここに建築は可能かっていうテーマはまた世界にそれは広げられるかもしれませんね。
I think that it would be interesting as a Biennale to draw attention to that huge proportion of the global population who do not have access to clean water, to sanitation, to power, to energy, and to put that in the context of a world which is changing, where more people need more and more energy to have higher standards of living, greater life expectancy, lower infant mortality, more liberation, more freedom. That is directly related to energy. To put that in context, to bring that to everybody's attention, I think that would be an interesting Biennale.
Well, actually, I think the title Common Ground is a really good title, and it is something that can be evolving. The development of this common ground could be a theme which lasts for a couple of years, actually, or always.
I would have liked to have called it, but it's not my exhibition, but not common ground, but middle ground. And for that, I mean that architecture for the last 25 years or so has been obsessed with the autonomy of form for form's sake. What we're now seeing is a complete shift. If you go to the American Pavilion and other pavilions, where suddenly architects are becoming social workers. And that's also bad. And what we need is a middle ground where architects can be both useful and they can make beauty.
I think that I would maintain the condition of having a very large swath of generations and types. And I think I would actually go for the sort of city focus.
There's a lot of discussion going on about the growth of megacities, about their infrastructure, about their development, but how these cities look, how the spaces are created, a street, a square, how typologies of housing or other functions are related to the public space.
I think whatever theme it would be, though, would be certainly still involved with the city and maybe in a relationship between the city and landscape as well.
To think of diverse ways to look at city dynamics and but not bringing it to city planning and not bringing it to the social sciences, but really try to figure out what is the architectural stake.
I think what I would do maybe is invite people to make designs for very specific locations that I would determine what the jury saying. So what are very problematic or interesting sites either that need a transformation or that would be interesting, and then say, okay, these are 10 sites that exist, and then invite 50 people or 60 people to make a proposal.
I would get all of the best architects of the moment. I would give them whatever money they needed to bring them together to do architecture, whatever that would be.
I'm very interested in how on earth does one communicate architecture in a way which is not, let's say, secondary to the importance of the actual buildings, without giving people who come here the impression that they are seeing the second most important things in the architect's life. What we need to see is the most important thing in architect's life.
Maybe one theme could be the low and the high in architecture.
Or the global and the local.
Maybe global, local.
La intitolerei customs, costumi o abitudini. Ogni paese tende a dare una versione caricaturale di se stesso per i turisti, no? Nello stesso tempo abbiamo una grande omologazione generale. Potremmo dire che il concetto di custom, nel senso del costume, e anche di custom made, cioè di fatto ad hoc, potrebbe essere una chiave interessante. La Biennale ha bisogno di una chiave che sia ampia abbastanza da lasciare esprimere le partecipazioni nazionali, ma chiara abbastanza a poter essere un leitmotiv.
Le thème, c'est la situation, ou les situations. Toujours, en tous les cas, l'ancrage, et toujours qu'est-ce que ça veut dire par rapport à ce qui précède, par rapport à ce qui est là, et par rapport à l'évolution de la culture aujourd'hui.
I think there are two themes that would interest me, and I think they could become connected. One is ideas about construction, how to continue to produce a sense of great presence, spatial presence, within the constraints that we now live in terms of economics and thermal requirements. And the second theme that I would find very interesting is also a spatial one. It is the seeking of the interior again. In other words, to try and repair the division that seems to have occurred between the fabric of the building and the interior of the building.
I say the theme would be a past and present. Somewhere intersection between past conservation, preservation of buildings versus highly rapid developing future technologies. I would like to see a Biennale taking a binary theme instead of a singular theme, so there'll be a lively debate and contrast in themes.
I think often architecture moves from one idea to the next without ever really resolving anything. I might restage each of the last Biennales to see if there's anything that we have learned from doing them. So it would be kind of the presence of the past to the power of 10.
More artists. I think there can be more artists in the show. Maybe artists that are not from our century. Piero della Francesca, for example.
The relationship between sculpture and architecture is so poignant, and that somehow not enough exhibitions make this connection between sculpture and architecture. Architecture is seen in the context of another art practice is a revelation when you see it in one place.
Privilegerei certamente una parte significativa e la dedicherei al mondo del restauro, dell'architettura, perché anche dal punto di vista della quantità di operazioni che vengono realizzate, oltre che per l'importanza intrinseca delle operazioni di conservazione, restauro e recupero, io credo che meriti una maggiore attenzione.
Sicuramente il tema del curatorial design, questo non fare oggetti ma creare appunto relazioni. È sicuramente un tema difficile perché tutti vogliono in qualche modo imporre il proprio segno, no?
How we can put in relation the methods of teaching to the new architects, the methods of researching and the methods of working in the offices.
I think it would be interesting to have a Biennale that was focused on work from countries where we never see work being produced. So certainly the whole continent of Africa pretty much is invisible.
There's been a lot of talk about architecture being post-ideology and post-history, and to an extent post-critical. I don't think this exhibition is going to be like that, but I would be very certain that my one wouldn't, and I think we might go the absolute opposite way and entirely collapse architecture's great moments of kind of historical questioning back upon the present.
It should be something about the balance of the brain and the heart, something. And I would, it should have been a very physical sentence, but I cannot say it right now.
An idea about future. It would kind of force architects to be optimistic, and to sort of to have a position.
I'd choose pleasure, enjoyment. Because I think at the moment there's quite a lot of pessimism around architecture and rethinking, and I think we can sometimes get a bit too intellectual and a bit too serious and a bit too self-conscious, if you like.